God, I'm so boy. I
Okay.
thought we were gonna have a green.
So, I know, I'm sorry, Sarah, you just woke up, I'm sure. Like, okay, this is my weather today. I will not show you. Don't look this way. I'm not going to show you our weather and the reason why I'm here. Precisely. So anyway, going back to this, which is really important. When we create the environment that is going to make the money feel safe, then whenever we put in, even if it's a penny, that money will magnetize and will bring in more money. Why? Because we're tending our garden. It's like trying to grow a garden full of weeds. Well, it's not going to work. If we till the soil, if we prepare the soil, if we get it ready first, then we put the seed in. Even if it's just one seed, it's going to give us fruit. And so in the same way with the money, if you begin to even start learning about it, start to get curious about it. You may not have the $1,500 or however much they charge to create a trust. A trust may not be the right option for you, but sometimes there are ways of planning for our money to grow in a way that the money is going to feel nurtured. Right? It's like, for example, it's something silly, right? I never took care of my skin. I was like, and my mom's like, put a little cream on, right? And I'm like, whatever. I didn't care. My daughter's continuously using like creams and things. And I'm like, you are 26. What are you doing? It's like, you don't need it. And she's like, yeah, I need to prepare for the future. And now I'm like, man, maybe I should have paid heed and put a little bit of cream on when I was told, but I didn't, right? The same way with the money. It's like, oh, wow, I wish I would have done it. I wish, like people say the best time to start investing is today. That's the best time. And tomorrow it'll be today. And then tomorrow it'll be today. Like people sometimes lament that they didn't start investing 20 years ago, but it doesn't matter. People then feel like, well, I didn't invest 20 years ago, I missed that train, and then they don't pursue it. And the thing is, it really doesn't matter. Like I bought Bitcoin when it was really low and now it went down to 47. Now I'm getting worried. I'm like, it was up at 63. Now it went down to 47. It's like, well, maybe I should buy now because this thing is going to keep going up, supposedly. Maybe it'll bomb. But what I did is I invested money that was not going to make me upset if I lost it. And I lost some of it because some people were scammers. And my friend yesterday just told me, his brother, his friends, they all invested a bunch of money in Bitcoin in this company like I did at the beginning. And they all got scammed of all their money. And some people got scammed their entire life savings. Which I don't know how these people do it and can live with themselves, but that's another story. So, you know, I lost some of it, but with what I was able to keep, because I decided to keep not invest it all and just keep it in Bitcoin. With that, I've made, 10 times over what I lost. But if it's not a Bitcoin, it'll be something else. Now we have to look into blockchain, MTFs. And if you can invest $100, then do that and put that love into it. But start learning about it, start getting involved with it. Because people say they want money, but then they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to learn about it. They don't want to care for it. And they don't create that environment. It's like if I say I want to grow my own food, but I don't learn about how to take care of the soil. It's like, I just want the fruit. And it's like, well, it's not going to happen. So in the same way, that's how I recommend. And so for our type of businesses that we want to do, that we're interested in doing, whether we do it or not, when we begin to understand this philosophy, it'll work anywhere. So if we put all our eggs in one basket and that basket, the actual container, belongs to somebody else, then somebody will walk away with our basket and our eggs will most likely be in their basket. They'll just keep the basket with our eggs and with all that we've worked for, which is what exactly happened in the situation, right? Facebook left with the basket. And now there's no basket and there's no eggs. And all of a sudden you're like left without a basket and left without your eggs. So the way that that I've learned is build our list, even if it's 100 people, even if it's 50 people, even, with 1,000-person list, with 1,000-person list, if you nurture it correctly, because this list is people who are actually interested in you, they want to know from you, they want to hear from you, you can make an average of $10,000 a month. Okay. So when we start getting overwhelmed about how am I going to get a big list, and you see people having 50,000, 1 million people, 10 million people, do not worry about it. Stay in your lane. Our goal is to have 1,000 true fans. Okay. When we get our 1,000 true fans, we're going to be okay. You don't need to do more than that. And then when you break it down, right? If you decide, well, okay, how am I going to break that 1,000 person down? Okay, give yourself 2 years. Give yourself a year and a half. Okay, I'm going to build it so that I can get consistently 10 subscribers a month, 10 subscribers a week. Okay, you get 10 subscribers a week, you're going to get 40 people a month following you. That's the basic, right? 40 people. Then in 10 months, you have 400 people. In 12 months, you're going to have 480 people. Okay. And in 2 years, you're going to have, 960 people. Right? So don't get yourself overwhelmed with it, and just know that even with a small list, you'll be fine. And if anybody walks away and the platform moves, you always have your list backed up, and you can just go, okay, F you, thank you for leaving. I'll just move my list over here and continue, and you don't skip a beat. Every day there's more apps, and we have the ability to communicate with our people faster and cheaper. New programs are coming out that are going to be like, oh, you can get rid of ClickFunnels, you can get rid of this, you can get rid of that, and you just pay, like, there's this one that I can't remember the name, I saw it yesterday, $37 for forever, and they give the special because they're just starting in beta, so it has kinks. You work through the kinks with them, you grow with them. When you have a small list, it really doesn't matter, right? And you just keep at it, and we'll keep growing. But then you will never experience what just happened, because if they walk away with your list, you have a backup, and you're like, okay, if my list disappeared there, I have it here, and I haven't lost a thing. Okay, so remember that. And unfortunately, we have to be selfish about this, and we have to think smart. And however wonderful all these platforms are, like, I'm starting to love TikTok, I'm starting to put stuff in there. I love it, but I know that I don't care how many people I get following me there. They're not my followers. They're TikTok's followers, right? They're Instagram's followers. There's Facebook followers. And if you move platform and you haven't created a solid, personal, deep relationship with the people who are your true fans, you're going to leave, and they're just going to pick somebody else there, because what they like is the platform. right? I leave Facebook, somebody else will take my place, right? There's so much in there that there's no lack of content. And that is why it's so important to create these deep personal relationships as much as possible when we grow as much as Melanie. I mean, how personal can you get? She has a talent. But we must continue to nurture that through our list, and then we can just move our people with us wherever we go. Okay, so just lesson learned from that, and just see how devastating it can be. For her, it might not be too devastating because she can and she should, and I'm sure she was already developing either her own platform or her own app or her own something to communicate with people. Now, out of all of us, I don't know where you guys are putting your content if you're just doing Facebook. The one who has been really smart about putting her content somewhere else has been Lauren. She's been putting Lauren Lindsay, putting everything in Kajabi. And so she has her own thing, whatever. Now, if Kajabi leaves, you know, that's another thing. But she's paying for it, which is a totally different thing. Chances are Kajabi is going to be there for a long time. ClickFunnels is going to be there for a long time because we have to pay for that, right? When it's something that's free, well, it's not really free. It's pseudo free because you're giving them all of your information. You're giving them all of your photographs, your archives of your pictures. Oh, Podia. Thank you. Kajabi just crashed a few days ago. Yee. And Sarah has her own app. I don't know if Sarah did it through Passio IO. I was looking into that, but I'm going to get my own app eventually. But if I don't have enough people, then, you know, why get my own app now? It's like putting the horse before the cart. Oh, I heard about Hey Human. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so there's different options, okay? So what we have to learn is how to use these vehicles in a way that doesn't offend the vehicle, because it's like we're playing their game on their court with their rules. I know so many people that with this whole situation with the jab and everything that's been going on have been deplatformed, and they've lost millions and millions and millions of subscribers. Some of them already had enough money to build their own platforms, and that's what they're all doing. But you're switching to Kajabi right now. Yeah, to connect, but to house all, but not to house your stuff anymore. Exactly. If you start housing all your stuff there, even your personal stuff, oh, that's wonderful, Sarah. Good for you. And make sure if you put all your personal photographs in there, download them. Keep them safe, because they'll decide one day, oh, you said moo, and we didn't like the way you said moo, so you're out. And it's just as easy for them. They just press a button and you're out. All your information is gone. All your followers are gone. I'm not sure if Melanie's able to recover any of the stuff that she may have there from the beginning. It is, yeah, it's heartbreaking. Exactly. So what are we going to do to not experience that heartbreak? Learn from this. Okay, because we're all here. If you're here, you've made a choice. And if that thing of the middle class ceasing to exist is absolutely true, okay, if you're here, you've already made your choice, and you're not going to be in the poor people arena. Okay, so we all know where we're headed. Okay, we're going to be with the rich people, because I've had money and I have not had money, and I'm telling you, not having money sucks. Okay, and whomever tells you that it is the good thing to do and to give your gifts for free and stuff, that's bullshit. We all need to live And there's no not only shame in that. If we have money, that means we're fully learning the lessons that we're here to learn, right? And get over those challenges and get over that mental cockroaches that tell us all these lies. Tell me, Stacia.
I just wanted to interject the people that the angels speak to us for free. Why are you? All of the people that I've encountered with this mentality have had the roughest times. They are in the highs of the highs and the lowest of the lows. And I'm like, isn't that interesting that they get so worked up and they put themselves in such a state that their whole life just gets discombobulated. And I just had to say that because I was just talking to somebody. I was like, what happened to so-and-so? And it's like, angels talk to me for free. I don't know what you people want from me. I'm like, well, that's weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of resentment.
Yes.
And usually the people who are saying that are the people who have no money.
Right. Or they have someone else to depend on because they don't have to bring in money, but they're still they're very resentful. That's exactly what this woman.
And it's a lot of resentment. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I choose to detach from all that energy.
Yes.
And then it's like, this is, it doesn't matter. Okay. And it's all part of the game. And frankly, when we pay for something that we feel that it's worth it, we get so much more out of it than if we're just getting it for free. Like people, it amazes me. Like on Facebook, I see people doing their ads and then people on the comments, why are you charging so much? And they're charging $97, right? I can't believe you're charging so much. How dare you? And they go on this rant about people charging money for their work. And I'm thinking, you know how much this person's spending on ads on Facebook? Your 97 bucks ain't gonna cut it. It's like, that is a very, very good price for what they're offering. And as long as you're offering value, and if you go from the place of offering 10 times the value from what you charge, then I see absolutely, like people go pay for Louis Vuitton, right? People go pay for Chanel. We've had this conversation over and over again. So all I'm saying is, let's stay mindful of what's going on, learn from it, and make sure that we're nurturing our people and creating our own relationships, and we have them in a place that wherever we choose to go, they come along with us, and we don't have to start over from scratch. Because when you have to start over from scratch, when you have, 10 million followers or however many Melanie has, it might be quite easy when she's already amassed, what was it, $21 million or $22 million this year. She has the money to just build those people up. If she pops up and one of her assistants says, hey, Melanie's moved to the moon, within 10 minutes, like can you just visualize the exodus of Facebook into Instagram right now? Can you just visualize the exodus for Melanie? Okay. But when we have 1,000 followers, 500 followers, 3,000 followers, and we're not still, we haven't broken the $1 million mark or the $100,000 mark, right? If we get a move like that, it can be devastating, right? And it's like when a little seed starts to sprout and it's tiny little like this, and you squash it, chances of it coming back are slim to none. If you have a big oak tree that's been there, that's like growing, giving branches, and you break off a branch, the tree will be like, no big deal. It's a branch, it'll grow back, I'll heal it, and it just move on. Okay, so because we're starting, it is so important to keep that seed protected. Okay, so I wanted to just make sure I talked about that because I feel that's important. Now, today with the eclipse, it's like I was saying, it's like, because she's a Sag, it's like clean slate. And if there was ever a demonstration of how the universe can be, I was like, holy cow, which also teaches us a lesson, detachment. Because a blow like that, and she's been getting, this year has been hard for her. She's been getting attacked a lot. And she's usually attacked. And I do not know if she's attacked because she's expecting that, or she has something in her that's expecting it, because that was done to her when she was little too. So it's like a pattern that she could potentially break. But this year, like, I've been a defender of her many a times. I got into a fight with a guy. I like told him off, like you wouldn't believe, because he started messing with her and her eyebrows, and I just lost my shit on him. I was just like, and it was at the beginning when she was starting to do her 365 days. And the guy just went at her in public in front of it. And I was just not having it. I became a dragon, and the guy just like disappeared quietly into the sunset because it was bad. It was just horrendous, and I was just not gonna have it. And I decided I was Melanie's mom in that moment. I was going to send my little chick. I just went after him. I was like pecking at him. I was like, no, you're not gonna live. But anyway, so she has received a lot of attacks. So when we protect our seedlings and our dreams, I feel, and I've learned, some coaches say, go and declare it to someone what you're gonna do. And I think that when we're not 100% sure, like that seed is just sprouting, so many things can go wrong. And when we don't talk about it with anyone, we're protecting it from destructive energy. Because if we when you tell people about her, oh, she's for real. I can vouch for that. She's for real. She's not the type of person who would say that. I know a lot of coaches. Okay, I think that Ty Lopez guy. Yeah, they can't fathom it. Yeah, they can't, right? Okay. I'm going to say 3 more things about this, and then we're going to move on to us. But one of the things that Melanie did was, she did all of the quantum leap stuff. We all did it together with Carbecker. That taught us a lot. We went to warrior camp. I haven't been to Wizard. That's probably what Facebook was thinking too. Maybe. Oh, maybe they thought she's faking it and she's scamming people. But I can tell you that she is the real deal. Also, she's figured it out a way to do it on a shoestring. When she started getting her team, she did it the right way because she pays her people really well. Okay, but she started small. She started with her sister. And then when they got more money, then they brought in somebody else. And then they brought, we have seen her growth. Like I met her at work. I came in contact with them, her and Kevin at Warrior Camp. That's where we met. And they were the most generous, the most loving people. I was there alone, and they liked me. They literally, genuinely, we liked each other. We just had chemistry and we got friendly. But they weren't there sitting with me like because they felt sorry. They were there because we all connected. And it was a really nice, loving connection. Her and there's another couple. I don't know if they're still friends. The girl who's Melanie's friend actually does sound healing, and the boyfriend does sound healing too. And the boyfriend can something. I'll get you the names, but he was hugely obese, and he started doing a diet, and he got really thin, and he now shares how he got there, and he's helping other people get there. And I don't know if they're still together, but it was the four of them, and they were so loving and cute and wonderful. And so I've seen her, I saw her when she decided to do that 365 days and talk about whatever. And she started just doing and doing and doing. And she's been like a little ant that is so powerful, because you think you can't do anything, but you see the little ant and it's like, dee, 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 dee. And then all of a sudden it's like one little grain and one little grain and one little grain and one little grain. And at first it doesn't look like it amounts to anything. But all of a sudden, it's like this. And she's created a molehill that's just humongous, right? And she did it how? Organically. And that's why I'm sure Facebook might be resenting her, just like credit cards resent me, and they call me a deadbeat because I don't pay them interest, because I figured out a way of having free money. They give me the money, I use it, and then I pay them back in a certain amount of time with no interest. That's free money. That's unlimited returns. Okay. And she got unlimited returns from Facebook, but she didn't back it up. With all her expertise and everything, she didn't back it up. And she didn't see the potential loss coming. Like, she didn't foresee that this could happen, or that it could happen. Like, she's never talked about anything controversial other than the money, and people resent that. See, remember the crab story? And that's why we have that. I believe we have to keep quiet in a way. You have to say things at the appropriate time, but if you say them too much, like, all you have to do to keep crabs in a bucket, I don't know if you guys know, but you put 2 crabs in there. The first crab will try to get out. If you only leave 1 crab, eventually that crab's gonna, if you don't put the top, eventually that crab's gonna get out. The minute you put the second crab in there, the first crab tries to get out, and the second crab is gonna bring him down. Like, you put 5 crabs in there, and there's like 1 crab trying to get out, and the other ones are gonna, no, where are you going? You're not going anywhere. I don't know if that's a reflex or a safety mechanism that they have, but they will not let the 1 crab get the heck out of the bucket. You can leave the crabs with no top, and they will die in that bucket. Okay. So when people start saying, I've got money, I've got this, I bought an island, I've got all these things, even from the place where she's coming, because if you really look at it, she's saying, all that I have, you can have too. And every coach that she's coached that I know of, well, not every, but she has a super high percentage of coaches that have gone on to do great things and have grown their businesses in a crazy way. Like Sarah Longoria came out of there, and all these people, right, that are doing the same thing. She's blazing the trail. Unfortunately, people are like crabs, and they have that same kind of, why are you charging for your stuff? If you're supposedly spiritual, you're supposed to do it for free. BS. They're like, why is that person making money? I'm going to make sure that they don't. It could have been some resentful person saying she's making up and she's scamming people and blah, 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 blah. And Facebook is like, oh yeah, oh, looked at it once, didn't even take the time to just study it, and then it's like, yeah, and some machine either decides, or some person that knows nothing said, okay, done, deplatform. You're right, it's a scammer. And they probably, without giving her a chance. But the way things happen, like, if you're not aware that you can be deplatformed at any second for saying moo, then you're behind the 8 ball. Okay. So that's why this conversation was appropriate. Now, going to our deconstruction. Have you guys done your deconstruction? You did yours, right? Sarah, Julia, I don't know if you guys did your deconstruction. It is an investment into your life, just like going and learning about finances and doing stuff about your money, just like making sure you eat healthy food for, to have a healthy body. It's the same thing. If you will get out of it exponentially what you put into it. So if you just decide to spend a half hour doing the deconstruction, getting clarity, the most important thing we need to do is to get clear as to what we want. And when we get clear without guilt or shame about wanting what we want and having those desires, right? Because everything that we, I don't know that everything that we choose will have, but everything that we choose is available to us to have. Okay. And this is my theory. I don't know if I shared the circle theory with you or the orbit theory. I call it the circle theory. And I believe that we all come into this earth with everything that we will ever desire in an orbit that's available to us, right? Because if it wasn't available, how cruel of a universe could it be to have us desire something that is out of our reach? Like that, for me, would be like the epitome of cruelty. Like, oh, I have all these desires, but they're not available for me. I can never attain them. And so because they're in our awareness somewhere within us, maybe we've never experienced it, but somewhere in there, we've either connected with somebody who has it, or there's an inner desire that we don't know where it comes from, but there's this desire that thing that you don't want to share with anyone because it might sound absolutely ridiculous and you don't want to be like cut down by people telling you, are you crazy? Right? And that thing must be available to us, because otherwise, how cruel. And so when we begin to put it on paper, we're helping the actualization of it, the actual creation. Yeah, the dog stirred, the alarm, the car alarm is going on. Enough, honey. We actually aid the actualization or the materialization of our desire into this dimension. And by writing it down, we're bringing it from the ether into reality. And that's why so many people are like, you have to journal, you have to think. I don't think we have to anything. I believe that there's going to be a point, and if you haven't experienced it, I'm sure you all have, that you think of something and then it shows up, and it's getting faster and faster. So we're not going to need that writing. But if you want to support that writing, that will help. However, I believe that when we write down and see it in paper, because we're very visual. Now, our eyes are part of our brain. Are literally our eyes, our brain, and our whole nervous system is one big piece. And that's why we're so visual. So when you're able to see it in paper, that's why the vision boards help so much, because they help you program through your eyes the reticular activating system that will go look for that picture to show up. And that's why it's so interesting, right? But then when we put it in paper and we get clarity, and this is the key, getting clear into our desires, then it just becomes so easy to reverse engineer it. And you go to the end, And it's like, okay, this is what I want to have at the end. And what are the steps I need to do that? Now, the one here that I believe might be have this concept much more clearly than all of us is Sarah, because she does the wedding planning, right? At the end, you're going to have this wedding that's going to look like this. But in order to get to this wedding that's going to look like this, there's 100 or however many steps that we need to do to create this vision. Okay, so it might be something easier for Sarah to understand, but if we think of it in those terms, we can see it, right? Like I did an event for my dad a few years ago. It was not a 50th, it wasn't a big year, it was like 47 or something like that, the anniversary of his company or something. And I decided to create an award for him. And I planned this party for, I don't know, it was like 300 people or something. It wasn't a huge party. But I was in New York, and in order to get it done, I had all this time, and it's like, okay, planning and inviting the people and creating the thing. And I did this logo, I did this, actually it's right here. I had this award made from enamel. And I designed this logo of this fish called Ibirigui. And it says, if you don't know the answer, make it up, invent it. And that was the theme, because when my dad was young, he went to work in Acapulco, and I'm talking, I think he was 17 or something. He went to work in Acapulco, and he was working in a glass bottom boat and taking the tourists out. He couldn't even swim. He'd never seen ocean before he went to Acapulco. He's now working on this boat, unable to swim. And all the Americans asking about the fish, and he would be, well, he'd learn about the parrotfish and this fish and whatever, but some fish he had no clue. So every time he saw fish that he didn't know, he made this name Ipiriqui. Oh, that's an Ipiriqui fish. And all the tourists were like, Ipiriqui, Ipiriqui. Just make up the name. He had no clue. But the fish, somebody gave him a book of fish, but I think it were from the Atlantic, so he never saw the fish up there, because that's the Pacific. And it was like, I don't see any of these fish through the thing. Okay, well, that's an Ibiriqui. And so I thought it would be a really nice theme to do it, the Ibiriqui, and it was called the Ibiriqui Award. And so, but in order to get the music, and I had to sing, and I had to have the videos, and I made the video, and so all of these steps had to be done, but I had a vision of the end in mind. In order to get the clear vision of the end, you have to invest the time in getting clear. You can't just say, I'm going to get married and I want a dress. Yeah, okay. Okay, so can you give me a clue? And so imagine if you just went to the universe and got or to Sarah and said, well, I want a wedding and I want a dress and I want food. Okay, well, let's start with the dress. Like, you think there are a little bit of options. So we tell the universe, that's how we go about asking the universe for stuff. I want money. Okay. All right, then. Can you be a little more specific? Because you can say, I want money, and the universe might end your sentence with going out. All of a sudden you have no money because all the money went out. It's like, no, that's not what I meant. Okay, well, what did you mean? Right? Because the universe, like, I did something when I got divorced. I was like having so many problems with my husband. I was just like to my limit. And I would cry myself to sleep every night. And I would pray to God. And I always say that was my biggest mistake that I won't do again, which is I was not specific. I said, God, if this is the man for me, let him stay and be the man he was when I married him. But if he's not, please just take him away. And he did. The guy cheated and left. And that was the only way he would have left. but I couldn't understand that, and I couldn't see that when it was happening. I was like, oh, you took him away in the worst way. Well, I didn't say, and take him away in the kindest, gentlest, most loving possible way. The universe like, oh, take him away. Okay, let me find the quickest, easiest way for him to leave. Find another woman. Okay, done. Boom. All right. Why are you complaining? You said, it's like, can you imagine the universe is like, well, you said you want him to leave. Aren't you happy? And then I'm like, it's like, it was horrible, right? Because I wasn't clear and I wasn't specific, because I never in my mind thought that he would ever cheat on me. It was like the farthest thing from my mind, because he actually hated his dad for cheating on his mom. So I thought, like, it wasn't even in my awareness. And I didn't do a blanket statement of in a most loving, positive, amazing way. And it ended up being a shit show. So I was like, okay, well, next time when I ask for stuff, I better be really careful. Okay. So in the same way, if you just invest 30 minutes in getting clear about the areas of your life that you really care about, because there may be stuff that's working and you just say, thank you, universe, that's working fine, move it right along. But there may be areas that you want to improve on. And it could be your work, but would you want to have an incredible amount of money working, 80-hour weeks and not seeing your family? Oh, I didn't see it. In what episode? Calling the failure hotline.
I can't remember which episode. It's great because she talks about how we call in, and it's funny that you said she's learning a lesson or she's calling this stuff in. We call this stuff into ourselves, and she literally picks up a bottle of dry shampoo and she's like, failure hotline, how may I help you? Oh, did you say you wanted more failure? And she just goes through it. It's really, really good because it really simplifies what we do. And it's exactly what you're saying. It's like we say these things and we don't think about the negative spin that we're putting out there. And then we think, why did that happen?
Right. And they were like I was like, oh my God, he cheated. And then one coach, Gary Douglas, when I was doing my certificate for Access Consciousness, I went up and I was like, he's like, what's the matter with you? Well, my husband, he left me and he cheated. He left me and he left me for another woman. And he was like, okay, I'm just going to ask you one question. Yeah. Did he leave you or did you leave him before he left you? Okay, he goes, now go sit down. It's like, now go sit down. Like basically stop whining about it because you called it in, you wanted him gone, and that's what happened. And the only way he could have left was this way because you asked the universe and the universe is like taking orders. Take him away. Okay, what's the quickest, easiest way that we can accomplish this? Find another woman. Okay, there she goes. Done. And then ingrate me, instead of saying thank you, you're like, how can you do this to me? Oh my God. And I went into a drama that lasted for freaking ever. I don't know how I still have friends. The friends who are my friends to this day will probably be my friends till I die, because having gone through that, if I would have put them through that, I probably would maybe not have stuck around that long. They really must care about me because I cried about this whole thing. You left me. I was like, I was so fed up. I couldn't go another day with this man. Right? I just could not. I was going to die physically, really. I told my mom, if I would have stayed there, I would be dead now. And she's like, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So it was sheer survival. And now I'm like, thank you, Lord. My mom said to me one day, it's like, stop it. One day you're going to build a monument for to say thank you for taking him or for him leaving or whatever it was that they did. And I was like, yeah, the day has arrived. Every time I look at my life now, I'm like, yeah, I did pretty good. Pretty good choice. I didn't know it at the time. It's like, yay. So anyway, invest the time if you haven't done it, add your categories, make them as precise as you can, right? And make it all about, because we focus on one thing and then we forget the other stuff. And just imagine that you're a plate spinner, right? And you're just gonna get your plate spinning. But this guy who spins the plates, at the beginning, it's really hard. But once these plates are spinning, he can keep them all going pretty easily because of momentum. But if we forget one plate, we might end up dropping all the plates because we can't keep going in one area without taking into consideration other areas of our life. Like if we want the money, okay, we'll get the money, but at what cost, right? So what is the cost you're willing to pay to have that money? Sometimes it might mean temporarily you agree to have less money, but more time with your partner, right? And sometimes like this is really important and you have an agreement with your partner where there's going to be less time together for this goal that we're pursuing. Making sure that you're all on this parallel path and that you're on the same wavelength together for this, right? If you're with a person. Or if you have your kids, you don't want them to tell you when they're old, oh, you were never there for me, because you were always working or pursuing your passion and you didn't pay attention to me, right? Now, that things are gonna go wrong, that things are not gonna come out the way we thought, that life may take us on a twisted, curvy path that we never expected. Yes. Like if somebody asked me, would you ever have thought to be doing this now? I would say absolutely. No idea. No idea. I was on a different path and then I was doing what I love. And then it just kind of life, because I've always done what I loved. Life, if you just continue on your path, life has a way of having your purpose find you or placing you in your purpose without effort. Like so many people spend their life looking for purpose and they ask me, how can I find my purpose? It's like, you don't find your purpose. You just do what you love and your purpose will find you. All of a sudden you'll be in your purpose. You'll be like that fish in water looking for the water. Like you're looking for your purpose and you're in your purpose. You're already there. You're already living, existing. You already got the lotto ticket. You won. You're in this dimension because apparently there's a line of people waiting. A line of souls waiting to come in here. So if you're already here, you already got the lotto ticket. Just showing up, just being there. Now, what do you want to be? Now, this group is a group of players. There's the spectators and there's the players. This group is a group of players. We're down on the field, getting smacked around. And then you have the spectators. Oh, she's not doing it right. Oh my God, she's just doing it. The critics, the ones that, the critics, right? Oh, I would have, oh, how did they miss that goal? Yeah, okay, get down on the field, try the goal, and then tell me that I'm an idiot, right? Because it's easy from the stands and looking at the whole picture to see that you could have done something different, but down from the field, it looked like I did my best and I'm gonna screw it up. But when you get the goal, that goal will never, nobody can take that away from you. Okay, so we here are the players and we are going to get the people that are going to say, oh, you're not doing it right, or how are you doing that, or why are you doing that, or who do you think you are, or blah, 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 blah. And that is why we need to really keep it under wraps until we have enough tree, enough branches that a storm is going to come and it's just going to bend about with the storm, but it's not going to obliterate us. Okay, because coming back, we will come back, but it just gets, gets to the points like we want to get it to a certain point. And the way to protect it is to keep giving it all the love, keep giving it all the energy, but not allowing other people, even the closest to us, who love us, who have the best intentions, who all they want is for us to be safe and protected. But guess what? Success takes sometimes risk. And we might have to just go for it. And if you have someone telling you how you're doing crazy stuff and you have to play it safe, well, we're never going to get anywhere. So it's not about playing it safe. It's about taking the risk, taking the chances. Sometimes, we have to take the risk because we've asked for it so much and the universe just gives it to us on a silver platter, Sarah. And you're like, well, I asked for it however long. Now I got it. And it's like, oh, okay, what do I do now? But then you have a choice, right? Because like Sarah could have easily decided, well, I'm scared, I'm going to go get another job, instead of, well, now I'm going to go for it. This is what I asked for. It just, the universe kind of just went like, all right, you're not doing it yourself. Let me just, okay, get to the edge. Okay, boom. Let me just tip you over. It's like, okay. It's like, I want this, 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 I want this. Boy! It's like, I am free falling now. And it's okay. But then what choices are you going to make when that happens, right? And how are you going to keep that under wraps, even from your closest allies and the people who love you the most, who are just going to have a different opinion on how to go about things. And we might mess it up, but then when we own that and we learn from that, then we'll be like, okay, I did it like this, it didn't work, now how am I going to do it again? I'm going to go at it a different way. And it's like we have a boulder. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's great. And so we have a challenge, right? And we have to go around this boulder, and we might have to dig underneath it, and we may have to go around it, or we climb over it. And it depends. We might try climbing over it and falling. Oh, that didn't work. Let me go around it. That didn't work. Oh, well, let me dig a tunnel underneath. Oh, well, maybe that works, right? It doesn't matter. What matters is that we keep it going, and then we might have to, we're going to run into adversity. We're going to have challenges. We're going to, and those, if you remember that every challenge makes you grow stronger, more resilient, and you stay true to yourself and true to your alignment, and you're doing things in alignment with who you are. If it feels good, now some things are going to feel awful when we fail, but if we keep going back to the clarity of what we're trying to reach, and that feels good, then all we have to do is like that little ant. We're not going to see it at the beginning, but we're like t t t t t t t t t, and then you get surprised. Another example before we start with our meditation that I think that they're important to recognize. There's Julia, when she said she couldn't meditate, and then she was the one who was there every single day, didn't miss one single day, and look everything that has happened since, right? She found this power within her of, oh, I can do something that seems impossible at the moment. I just gave her the feeling of safety. I created the safety of the container. It's like, you can pay for this, but if it doesn't work, I'm going to give you every penny back. So there was no risk. So I removed all of the risk from it to allow her to be able to make a choice and then be supported in her choice. But she did all the work. She's the one who showed up. She's the one who's done everything since, right? And then we have Stacia, who gives so much of herself, who supports every single person that she listens to. Like she's now on this Suzanne Goldstein train or something. I don't know who else you've been following, but everyone that you choose, like if you choose a person to follow, you're not there as a spectator. You're in there with them as a player, supporting them in every which way you can, being the most generous with your time, with your sharing, with like that giving. What happened the first time you went live? How many people you were like, what the heck, where are all these people coming from?
It's over 3,500.
In how long?
It was at 2,000 by under 12 hours. That's crazy.
Right. Right. That's crazy, or is that a natural progression of your giving? Of your giving, of your generosity. How long were you supporting people before you went live? Because I know with me it was at least a year.
Yeah. You know, actually, it was a very small time frame, but it was the pandemic, because I had absolutely nothing really else to do except find all these wonderful people. I'm like, ooh, there's Sarah. Ooh, there's Hannah. Ooh, there's Julia. I'm like, I found all of these wonderful people, and I was just like, everyone, there's these incredible ladies that you should watch.
Right. Right.
Oh,
that's why the whole problem happened with what's her name? I forget her name, the blonde girl that was in our mastermind with Kate. She was so mad. The whole problem was because
Claire.
the fight over Stacia. Claire.
Yeah.
It's like, she's claiming ownership over you. And I was like, like Stacey's a big girl.
Well, yeah. And you know, Suzanne is doing like, I complain about it, but I'm now on the superintendent parent panel, and I do this family and community engagement. Our kids are failing. We are failing our children, and she is all about this social change. And I'm trying to just be this little drop to just scream, we need help. And so I had been suggesting that we help families. And just 2 days ago, they actually had a Zoom that incorporated social and emotional support for parents, for the whole family unit. And I was like, tragically, a kid died right the week before Thanksgiving. There was a stabbing at a school. And I was like, I don't really want to take credit for this, but I've been like, yo, we need to help everyone, not just the kids. These kids, their families are failing them. The system is failing them. So it's just baby stepping, but I would love to bring that mental health awareness to community and just let it keep going. Like,
and you see how powerful you are. And that is what is going to create the change. And I was telling my parents, something happened the other day that one person did this one thing. Oh, we were driving from the golf course home. And it's just something that reminded me so much of you, of how you do things. It's this one girl, there's this dam, and it was so dirty. Everybody was throwing their garbage in there. And one day this girl in high school or middle school decided, I'm gonna go clean this up. So she started doing it, and she realized it's a daunting job. So she started recruiting people from her school. So her classmates started. So then the other people from other classes. So all of a sudden her whole school is there, or a lot of it. And then another school joined. And then the government gave her a grant and gave her money and gave her people and gave them bags and gave them things. And that thing is completely cleaned up because one girl chose that. So this woman who's a powerful force of nature called Stacia, called Julia, called Sarah, are there to create the change. And and the thing is, Stacia, you've gotten the results right in your face immediately, right? The people are coming to you because of your generosity. People are having fights over you. People almost got down to fist fighting over you. No, she's mine. No, she's mine. It's like, actually, people, let me tell you. Let me hone you in a little secret. It's like, she actually is a big girl who's sovereign and independent, doing this by choice. So just be happy that she's on your camp. Like, I'm happy that you're here, right? Like, supporting me. Every time I do something, I know that the first newspaper that's going to be out there screaming it from the rooftops that I'm doing something is you. So what happens the first live you do? 3,000 people just show up out of nowhere. It's not out of nowhere, and it's not in the vacuum. It's a result, exponential result of your giving. So look at all your accomplishments and say, thank you. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get clear. We have a clear vision. Then it's just like with your energy, with your gifts, just keep being you, doing your gift, giving of yourselves. And the universe is going to be, oh my gosh, here's a good player. Let me just support her. And we will definitely get all that support. So invest that time in your deconstructing, which means simply getting clear. It's like, where could I be doing better? What do I really want? What do I really want? And feel it in your body. Does it feel good when I think of it? Or am I doing it out of obligation? Notice where your desires are coming from. And get clear. Am I desiring this because this is what everybody else is doing? Am I desiring this because this is what my partner wants for us? Am I on board with his desires, her desires, whatever? Am I on board with these desires? It could be your parents wanting something for you. It could be your siblings. It could be whomever, right? It could be at work, your coworkers or your boss or whatever making a decision. And are you aligned with that? And when you begin to find what resonates within you and you find your alignment and you just and stay in your quiet place and do your meditation and find your center, your eye of your hurricane, things will all start falling into place, including the people who were in disagreement at first and who were the most critical voices in your life. I guarantee they will be the first ones to come and say, oh, I always knew you would do it. Oh my gosh, you're the best. I knew that. And it's like, I always had my faith in you. And when they were the ones telling you, you're crazy, how can you even think of doing that? Then when you actually do it, they'll be like, yeah, it's like those people who criticize the football players, but if they win the game, they're like, oh, I always knew they would win. Meanwhile, they're calling you an idiot and names and stuff. If you miss a goal, it's like, yeah, but if you win, then they're all on board the happy train, right? So all we have to do is forget about everybody else. It's our own individual singular path. And if you're in alignment, that is all that matters in the end, because in the end we leave and everybody else stays behind. Everything that we worked for stays behind. All the things that we accumulated stay behind. And our soul just moves on. So if we are able to put ourselves, and I know I keep doing this because it sounds really morbid, but if we keep putting ourselves on our deathbed and asking the question, if I were to die today, am I satisfied? Am I in alignment? Am I going to die with a smile on my face? Like, job well done. Yeah. Or, uh-oh, I better get some clarity. We begin by taking our breaths. So today we're going to really focus on our third eye and then go to our crown. Imagine that we're literally, our eyes are going back, and opening the crown. So there's this like triangular space from our crown and our third eye, and it's getting this triangular, like the point of a triangle, right? That meets inside our middle of our brain in our whatever gland it is. I can't remember the name, but it'll come to me. But the one that the Egyptians draw. I can't remember the name. I'm blanked, but it doesn't matter. It's just gonna go in here, and as you focus your vision into your crown now, because we've been teaching ourselves to go into our third eye. Now we're gonna go up. It kind of, imagine it as a windshield wiper that's gonna go, and it's just gonna clean that space up and open it up. Or imagine a, what's it called? Oh, I'm good with my English words now. The observatory, and you see how the telescope comes out, and there's like this dome, and then this thing just opens. It's like a door just opens. Create that feeling of that door just opening, retracting all the way a little bit past your crown. We have to eventually open the whole thing up. For now, just focus on going up to a little bit. Feel your crown, that little soft spot that when you're a baby, everybody was so careful not to touch or press down into, and come a little bit behind that with your eyes. And so that's going to start creating more of an aid to become more clear with your desires. And as we set that intention, all we do is remain still. Use the support from this eclipse that is going to help us look in those dark crevices of our whole system, our energy, our bodies, things that have been in hiding that need to be released. As we open that space through our mind's eye, we allow them to be released, creating a clean slate for us to begin anew. A brand new moon cycle begins now, giving us that opportunity. feel complete. Now, embrace your inner child that is incorporated within you. Already done that work. Just acknowledge her within you. Make a note of doing something this week as soon as possible that will please her. Take care of her. Just going to the park, going on some swings and swinging, going down a slide, going to watch a sunset in the freezing cold. Going for some hot chocolate or some delicious ice cream. Playing ball inside your house. Doing something silly. Just a nod to your child saying, I see you. I feel you. I have not forgotten about you again. Make a promise to yourself to not get so caught up in the 3D world that you forget that she's there, alive and well. Perhaps you had a favorite song or lullaby when you were little. Find it and play that to yourself as you fall asleep tonight. Sing her a lullaby. Love on her. Take a deep breath and let it all go. And when you're ready, start wiggling your toes. And coming back. Couple of extra cleansing breaths. A little stretch. It's okay, let it out. Comes right after we're done. He knows when we're done, and he comes to give me a hug every time. Hi, Frenchie. Talk to me, Stacia. Sarah, are you back? He's so cute. He's so dirty. I have a story about him, but I want to finish this first.
No, I think I'm progressing my inner child through the years, because I didn't even realize that, like adolescence and older inner child. So that was really, really lovely. So thank you.
Yes. And we have such a tendency to ignore that and do the adulting thing. And it's like, we're still that child. Right? Pretending to be something different because our body has changed. Yet if we really look at it closely, you're still that same soul with more experiences, more wisdom, but that child essence is still alive and well in all of us. We just tend to press the snooze button and deny ourselves the pleasures of the child. Only thing. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Just set that intention, and it's the pineal gland. Of course, it comes to me now. Yes, sometimes it's like not. See, we want we kind of guide the meditation to go in a way, but what's going to happen is what's going to happen, and there's absolutely no judgment. It's like today there was not that, right? And it's just a statement. It's not. There's nothing right or wrong about it. It's like, oh, interesting. It's why would that be? That's so cute. Why would your third eye be mad at you? That's interesting. I'd like to know more about that. Because you've been ignoring it, maybe. Yes, for not taking better care of it. That's so cute. Okay, well, that's something. Let me just find a bloody chat here. That's something that it's interesting. You've neglected it. Okay, how have you neglected it? By not meditating or by eating, like drinking fluoride? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's a wonderful realization. And that alone could be like, oh, I'm just gonna do it 3 minutes a day. Let me just get it going again. It's so like I'll be just sitting there doing my work and I'll just stop to have a break because I've been staring at a screen for too long. And I'll just be there and I'll just be like, okay, let me do one set of each. Like I'll do 3 up and down, up and down, up and down, side, 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 da 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 da, round, 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 far away, close, far my nose, do like 3. I like to do that more. I'll do 3 or 4, 5. And that's it. And I'll go back to my thing. And it doesn't become, see, as long as it doesn't become a chore. Oh, yeah. There's thermometers here everywhere. At least they took the spraying machine away. There's no more disinfectant sprayed at me at the club anymore. I had to run through that machine. Remember that? I had to go like, ah! I got sprayed. And the other day I was there, it's like, the machine is gone. Made your stomach sick. Yeah. Yeah, because we know better. I have fought that. I will not allow people to do that to me. I'll just go like this. Da, da, da. Wasn't that Wonder Woman?
Yes, yes.
Here's my wrist if you want it. Here's the other one. But if not, you're gonna get into trouble. And that's it. Yeah, Wonder Woman, exactly. I'm like, here's the wrist. Stay away from my face. And everybody's like, you're so ridiculous. The people go like, I saw one man purposely go and put his forehead onto the thing. And I'm like, hi, dear Lord, give me patience. It's like, when we realize that there are some people that get it and some people that don't. That's that. And then it's like nothing else that we can do but keep going forward and making sure that we do everything in our power to protect our energy and to remain in alignment with ourselves. It's when we do things that are going against us that creates such a resistance and such a feeling of uneasiness and regret that is hard to live with, because when we begin to just do stuff for the sake of other people instead of what we know inside ourselves to be true for us, as long as we're not harming anybody else, right? It's like literally John Lennon, live and let live. It's like, just live and let me live my life. But we must be guardians and protectors of that sovereignty, of that alignment. And when we get off path, notice it. The quicker we do it, the quicker, if we start feeling badly, that is the sure sign that we're doing something that is going against our nature, that is going against our own personal moral compass. And so when we begin to comply and do things for the good of others, for the good of, it doesn't work that way. It has to be for the good of you. And when we're in alignment, everything else falls into place because we're creating this reality. So if we begin to just notice and focus on feeling good, on staying calm, it is so difficult. Did we talk about the fact that were you saying 3 days, or was it to keep people in fear is the easiest way to control it? Was that here that we spoke about that? If you put people under fear, fight or flight for 3 days, you can control them. 3 days. We're talking 2 years now. People have lost all connection to their prefrontal cortex because everything is a reaction. It's fear-based. It's like more panic, another variant. I was listening to Dr. Andrew Kaufman, who's a very well-respected man who has done he's like a medical doctor who's been for years with Green Med Info, Sayer Yi. If you don't know him, follow him on Telegram, follow him, subscribe to his list, greenmedinfo, I think, .com. They got deplatformed, by the way, with hundreds of thousands or millions of followers. Robert Kennedy Jr. got deplatformed because he's fighting the vaccines and believes that there's a connection because a woman made him aware that there was a deep connection between autism and vaccines. So he's been fighting that for a year. I think Ocean Robbins might have been deplatformed as well, who just is Ocean Robbins is from the Baskin. If you don't know him and his father, oh yeah, Sarah. Oh, wonderful. I love you. I love you. We love you. Have a wonderful class. So Ocean Robbins and his dad are from the Baskin Robbins family, ice cream people. And the father, I think, I don't remember his name, but it's Ocean's father, and they do this thing together, left the family business because he didn't believe that the ice cream that they were making with all these chemicals was the right thing to do. And he left, and all he talks about is nutrition. Can you imagine what a slap in the face for? And he was like literally disinherited, and the family was just horrified that he would be, because he was so against this whole ice cream thing because of all the substances and the chemicals. And he's devoted his life to nutrition and healthy lifestyle and everything. Can you imagine? The heir of an empire who said, nope, not doing it. I will not go push this ice cream on people. Isn't it interesting, right? How we choose our path. And so with this Andrew Kaufman, he was saying that they haven't actually isolated the virus at any point. And he shows all the studies of what they've done, and that they're doing this thing where they've repeated this thing 5 million times, but they've never got a consistent result. So they've never actually been able to isolate the virus. So the fact that they're saying it's a variant, it's just another result that they got. And he explained how they're now making the negative results, they're turning them into positive with this new theory that they're using. And it's just a way of turning the negative into positive results. So now they have more positives because now they've changed the rules, basically. And he gives all the information. It's like, here is in this website that it's all, but it's all fragmented. So you'll get a little bit of information here, a little bit of information there. So you really don't put it all together. So he's gone in and it's like, okay, let me put it all together. And it's like, if you put this and this and this, and you tie it all together, which is all like connected, he's like, this is what's happening. And he paints an incredible picture of what's going on. And it's like freaky. And it's interesting that we're here at this time.
It is interesting. And, you know, this Omicron, all you see is panic and people going crazy. But when you study viruses, you realize that viruses go in this wave of, you know, complete devastation, but viruses are smart and they need host. So they begin to change. And so they start getting milder. And I'm hearing that this is a milder form, way more contagious. But theory is, if this can take over, the other variants are going to just kind of get swept under a little bit more, and it's going to be a very milder milder form of COVID. But you don't hear that at all on
why would you?
Right. They've
invested bagajillions of money into vaccines, where now Pfizer and Merck have both come out with pills Okay, the Pfizer pill, which is supposed to be the most effective, and you have to take it 3 times a day, like they give you a bunch of pills to be taking.
Right.
It cost them $14 to produce. They were going to sell it at $742. It's down to $523 or $532. But okay, $14, even if it's $532. $14, $532, $1,400, $532, $14, $532. So do you think that it's in their best interest to say this is getting so mild that it's not gonna? They're blocking countries, they're setting people on lockdowns again. In
Again,
Germany,
yes.
they've decided that every unvaccinated person is not going to be a part of life.
Wow.
Germany, you think, they
Right.
learned the first time.
Think. But no, it's just crazy. And like, well, wait a minute. Why aren't we talking about the people that have this new variant and how they're like, well, I had some muscle aches. I'm like, isn't that a lot better? Because it's not really attacking the respiratory system as much. And I'm like, that's the cycle of a virus. The viruses can't come in and lose their hosts. They need their hosts. The viruses are smart. And all viruses eventually get to a point where they go easier because they want to keep people around or they disappear.
Right. But
yeah, it's just
there's
strange.
so much more that's political. There's so much more that's
It is.
financial behind this. That's like,
It is.
oh Lord,
it's all
people.
It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all everything right now.
Crazy. Well, let me stop the recording.
Okay.
Oops. Let me see.